Serbia has signed a deal with Ghana for 100,000 work permits. And today we're going to talk about what that means for Serbia, why I think this is happening, and how this is going to unfold when it comes to moving to Serbia. Now, I've been absolutely overwhelmed by the number of people that are either in Serbia that have moved to Serbia or potential clients that are looking to move to Serbia and asking, hey, listen, is this actually true? Is this actually going to happen? And the answer is yes. But I don't think it's going to be as bad as many people think. And I actually think that there is good reason behind this. And that's what we're going to get into today. And this article comes in from just a couple weeks ago. And I wanted to see if this was true because there's a lot of false information out there. But I also wanted to do my own digging. And I want to talk to you also from a business perspective as to why this is happening here in Serbia and what are going to be the ramifications or the prosperity here for people from Ghana. And this article starts off with Ghana and Serbia have reaffirmed their commitment to strengthen bilateral relations in key areas such as labor mobility, technology, and food security. This follows a 3-day official visit to Ghana by the Serbian Minister of Foreign Affairs, Marko Đurić. Ghana's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Samuel Okuduzeto Blakwa, excuse me if I mispronounce that, but I'm not too familiar with these names here, who received his Serbian counterpart, described the visit as a significant milestone in a deepening relationship between the two countries. One major focus of this discussion was the planned structure of migration of Ghanaian workers to Serbia. The relationship between Ghana and Serbia dates back to the era of Ghana's first president, with both nations being founding members of the non-aligned movement. Today, the historic partnership is being revived and redefined through official visits of Serbia's Minister of Foreign Affairs. So, one thing that we also have to understand is that this relationship between Ghana and Serbia is nothing new. One of the things that I see here in Serbia that you can see on a lot of other YouTube channels out there is people that are here from Ghana, that are here from Nigeria, that are here from various African countries that absolutely love Serbia, that they, they're thriving here, they're learning the language, they're learning the ways, they're here to work, they're here to study. And one of the biggest things that they notice here is that Serbia is one of the least racist countries in the world. There's no, black and white like you have in the United States. They also respect the culture here as well. We have many clients that have married individuals and their wives are from Africa and their husbands are Serbians, and they're not coming in here to actually be a leech on the system. Not like there's much of a system to be a leech on. We don't have a lot of the social programs that a lot of the Western countries have, where you see a lot of these migrants going into Western Europe, where you see people going into the United States and Canada, where they're getting all these free subsidies from the government. Here in Serbia, I've said it before, if you don't work, if you don't actually try to make something of yourself, there's no one going to be here or a fallback plan that you can just say, hey, listen, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to sit on unemployment. I'm going to get some sort of subsidies from the government, such as welfare. There is none of that. Of course, there is unemployment insurance. So if you're an employee and you work somewhere and you lose your job, there is that, of course, but there is no welfare system here that you can just say, hey, listen, I'm not going to work, like many of the individuals do in North America, where, it's a generational thing that is passed down from the great grandparents or from the grandparents the children, or from the parents to the children, and they're consistently on these social programs. Uh, During the bilateral discussion, Serbia offered to support Ghana with digital technology and artificial intelligence tools, especially as Serbia currently chairs the global AI initiative. Talks between the two delegations centered on deepening cooperation in trade, education, security, and climate action. Now, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Serbia is becoming and is one of the huge IT sectors in this area. There is a huge company here in Novi Sad called Vengo IT. There is a number of them in Belgrade as well. And being that it's getting harder and harder to find people that are looking to that can do these type of job descriptions, they're going to have to look at things outside of the country, unfortunately. The minister of Ghana acknowledged the modest trade volumes between the two countries, but emphasized the potential for growth. He encouraged Serbian investors to take advantage of opportunities under the African Continental Free Trade Agreement, as well as Ghana's stable political environment and investor-friendly policies. Now, one of the pieces in this article goes on like this, and of course, like every other article I go into, I'm going to leave a link of the description of this article in the video here as well, because I can't read all of it. One of the things that it says in this video is, or in this article, is that the education and cultural exchange also feature predominantly in discussions. The Ghana foreign minister commended Serbia for its ongoing scholarship program for Ghana students under the World in Serbia initiative, and advocated for its expansion to include critical areas such as medicine. So one of the things that many of the people that we work with don't understand is there's many schools here in Serbia that cater to people from these countries. In Kragujevac, for instance, there is a whole university that caters to African students coming to work, get education here in Serbia. And it's all in English, of course. It's a private school, so not only is it that they have to get visas to come here to go to school, but because it is a private school, they charge a premium for that. And of course, that helps the Serbian economy. Now, one of the things that this article also goes into is that they're looking for a lot of skilled workers here, people that are looking for factory jobs, people that are looking to work in the agricultural section, people that are looking to work in the skilled trades. One of the things that happened from the 90s into the 2000s, and still is kind of happening, is that many of the skilled trades and these workers have left to Western Europe to work there. And so we have a vacuum of those type of people in need here in Serbia. But one of the things, and I'm not trying to put a blanket across all of the Serbs here that are living here, there are a lot of hard workers, but at the same time, there are people that just don't want to work. And this comes from my own personal experience, talking to other business owners here in Serbia as well, that they're saying it's very difficult to find people that want to work. For example, we run a relocation business here in Serbia. So I have marketing I need to do. I need people to do my video editing. I need to have cleaners in my personal life, not only for our office here, but as well as our home here in Novi Sad. But then there's other people that we work with that are looking for workers, and it doesn't matter about the pay, they just don't want to work. So for instance, I had a video editor, and I try very hard to find people within here in Serbia that want to work at our company here. But the problem is they think that they can work under their own mentality and their own work ethic here in Serbia, which isn't something that is a very high standard. So they want to have multiple coffee breaks. They want to have multiple smoke breaks. They want to come in when they want. They want to leave when they want. They don't want to meet schedules. This is just in my experience. So one of our YouTubers I hired here, he was good for about a month and a half, and all of a sudden he disappeared. And I tried to help this individual out because he was trying to get his own marketing agency going on. And all of a sudden he dropped, and I noticed that videos were coming in a little later and later, and I ended up finding someone else after I put out ads here in Serbia, and then ended up having to outsource it to someone else outside of the country. And after 2 weeks, I was like, you know what? I'm going to reach out to this guy and find out what's going on. And after he said that he screwed up with one of his previous clients, I said, hey, listen, like what? You just give up on me and screw me over to take care of something else you dealt with. And I let him know, hey, listen, if you want to come back, I'm going to split the workload 50-50. And that wasn't something that was suitable for that individual. And he's no longer working with us. The other one was that we had someone reach out to us when it came to marketing. And they said that we just finished school here in Belgrade, and it was for psychology or physics or something like that. But I want to do marketing. And so can I do marketing for your Instagram, for your TikTok, for your other social media platforms? And I said, well, what kind of experience do you know? They had no experience, zilch. They didn't even know what a scheduler was. And so after the meeting was done, I sent them a couple questions through WhatsApp, trying to figure out what they wanted to do, what their experience was. And it took them 4 days to respond back. That is not someone that I'm looking to work with. If you're looking for a job, you need to get on that sooner than later and not take 4 days. If that's your best foot forward, what's going to happen when you start getting paid as well? And so we had to outsource that work as well. And funny enough, it went out to Canada, where I'm paying a higher price than I would be here in Serbia. And one of the things is I always ask the people that want to work with us is, what is the idea that you want, or what is your price point wanting to work with us? Because I don't want to ever give someone a base rate, a minimum wage job. I let people decide what they think they're worth and let them prove it to me. And at that point, we'll decide, after 3 months, is that something that you're suitable for? But if it takes you 4 days just to respond on a message, that's not something good that's going to work out here either. The other one is that, like I mentioned, cleaners here in Serbia. I've reached out to multiple people here in Serbia, put out ads on Facebook groups looking for cleaners here in Serbia. And I asked them, what is your wages? And their wages were anywhere between 1,000 and 1,500 dinars an hour. And I said to a couple of them, hey, no problem. We set a date. They said, we're going to come on, Tuesday. Tuesday come and goes, and they don't call, they don't answer the phone, and that was the end of that. The other individual wanted 1,500 dinars an hour. That is a little high for Serbia, but again, I don't mind paying it if someone's going to do the work that needs to be done. Well, when they came to start working, they asked, hey, where are you located? I explained them where we are. They explained where they are. It was about a 20-minute bus ride to get to where we needed them. And they said, hey, that's a little too far. And so what we ended up doing is we found someone that is here from Nigeria. They are a student, and they are working for 1,000 dinars an hour, and they do a fantastic job. They come in for a couple hours and leave, and we've been using them repetitively. Now, we also have a friend that to my wife actually, and she moved back from United States to Novi Sad, and she's in the financial industry. And she has a brother who is, and her brother has a a wife that they said, hey, listen, the wages are low here in Serbia and we can't make ends meet. Can we work for you? And she offered them 5,000 USD a month to work for them. They had to do some training that was paid, but they'd have to work 40 hours a week, and they'd work 8 hours a day, two 15-minute breaks and a 30. And they said that workload was a little too much for them. And that 5,000 was on top of their other pay that they were working as a lawyer or whatever it was that they might have been. And they said that was too low, too much work because of our other jobs. So she said, sure, no problem. We'll lower your hours to 20 hours a week so you can manage your other jobs as well, but you're going to get half the pay. Well, that ended up being a problem as well. Now, I can just imagine also when it comes to tradesmen, we've tried to get a number of tradesmen. They pick up the phone, yeah, we'll come tomorrow. Tomorrow comes and goes. Nobody shows up. And this goes on for a month. Same with property managers. Same with so many people that I've tried to work with here in Serbia. It just seems like they don't want to do the job. I'm not saying this goes for the whole population here. Of course, there are people here that work hard, but when it comes from a business perspective and when you're trying to deal with these type of things, you're going to start looking elsewhere. So I think that these individuals are going to be able to come here. They're going to actually put in the work, and they're going to prosper here in Serbia because they're going to actually come to a place where there's available work. There's work in factories. There's work, to go pick raspberries. There's no raspberries pickers anymore. Farmers are crying that there's no one available to do it. And so this is going to help them get that product onto the shelf. Same with so many other industries. So in short, I think this is not going to be detrimental to Serbia. This may actually help individuals. And I would much rather see people coming in from these countries here to work than some of the other countries that I won't talk about in this video. So what are your thoughts when it comes to this new work permit idea? Of course, they're going to come here as through the legal channels. They're going to come here and have to pay their taxes. They're going to have to come here and purchase things within Serbia, which will also help boost the economy. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.